Most business owners think that the only way to grow is by getting more eyeballs, more traffic, more followers, more clicks. But here's the truth. You're probably sitting on untapped revenue right now. Why are you obsessing over more traffic when you haven't unlocked all the revenue with your current traffic? So in today's episode, I'm going to show you the 5 fastest ways to grow your business without needing a single extra visitor, follower, viewer, listener. These are the same levers I've used to double sales for clients without changing their audience size, and you can start applying them today. So it's funny when you look at a business and you look at a client of mine, let's say, that says, Graham, I want to make more money in my business. I want to grow my business. Big picture goal. When we look inward at the business and look for the levers we can pull to grow the business, the lever that most people think they want to pull is the lead generation lever, right? There's their lead generation, lead conversion, lead ascension, lead retention, or customer ascension, customer retention. Those are the 4 general buckets, or levers you could pull, let's say. But it's the first one that everyone's obsessed over. How big is my following? I want more people watching my stuff on YouTube, listening to my podcast. I want more people on my email list. I want more people engaging with me on social media. And I think the reason why we want more traffic is threefold. Number one, there's vanity, right? We all want more people engaging with our stuff, following our stuff. I think there's some vanity, but let's just put that aside. Let's assume that you are not vain. Let's assume that you could care less about how many people follow you. You purely do just want to make more money in your business. Let's put that one aside. Then there's 2 other reasons why we tend to go to traffic. Number one is because it's logical. We think I'm making a certain amount of money. If I could just get more eyeballs in front of that system that's making a certain amount of money, I'd make more money. So, because the math is accurate and compelling. If your business is generating $5,000 a month at your current level of traffic, well, if we doubled your traffic, you would, in theory, double your revenue from $5,000 to $10,000 a month. So it's very simple math. And so I think that's one reason why we focus on that. Let's just get more people watching this. Let's get more people hearing about my stuff. Let's get in front of more people. The second reason is I think because people have vastly underestimated how much money their current business could create with their current leads and the current number of eyeballs and the current amount of traffic. And that's just because it's not taught very well. And it's because we're also afraid of messing with the knobs beneath the business. We get lazy in that we create a system, we create a business, and it's selling something. And the moment it starts to sell something, we assume, okay, this is as good as it's going to get as far as the system. Now let's just get more people in front of the system. And that's just lazy. And it's unfair to yourself to put all that pressure on this first domino or this first lever. If you got these 4 levers you can dial and you're just putting all the pressure on this one lever, which is get more traffic, then you're going to ask the wrong questions like, how do I run paid ads to get more people in front of this system? Well, maybe your system sucks. Maybe your business doesn't print as much money as it could. And so why would you spend money getting more people in front of a sucky system or a subpar system? Or an unoptimized system, right? That doesn't make sense. Number 2, you start to ask questions like, how do I blow up on Instagram or blow up on YouTube? Why would you want to blow up on Instagram or blow up on YouTube or have 1 million downloads on your podcast if the back-end business attached to it is not optimized? Right? It's a giant waste of time. It's the out of order thing we should do. We should be focusing on the system, the business itself, before we focus on the traffic. The great news about this is we don't have to wait for more traffic to come in. You can make more money now. You could double your income to 10x. You could 2x to 10x your income today with the exact number of followers you have based on these dials that I'm going to tell you how to dial up and these tools and these tweaks we're going to make. Now, that might sound crazy to you, but it's because you just haven't thought about it. And if you start to look at the math, it's going to make a lot of sense. So what I want to give you today really quickly is the 5 ways you can explode your sales without getting more traffic. So same traffic coming in. Yes, we want more traffic eventually, but let's just assume your traffic is going to stay the same for now. Let me give you 5 dials to turn. You'll make more money. And then if you get more traffic in front of those dials that are already optimized, you'll make even more money. Make sense? Are you good with that? All right. And I'm just going to go through them as quickly as I can. If you were my client, we would workshop all of this in detail. And there's also a lot of psychology and nuances to each one of these things. And I don't have time. Each one of these could be a masterclass in and of themselves. And I've covered some of these in a little bit more depth in recent videos and episodes. But I'm just going to walk you through these 5 levers. My hope is that you're going to have an unlock today and realize at least one of these 5 levers is the one you just need to turn like today. Like, don't even wait. Don't even think about it. Just dial this in today. But then if you really want to blow up your business, dial in all 5. All right. Number 1 way to explode your sales without more traffic, and it's the most powerful, and it's the simplest, and it's the one that most people skip. Here you go. Raise your prices. Raise your freaking prices. You are undercharging. How do I know that? Because everybody's undercharging. How do I know that? Because I interact with business owners all day, every day. Beginners all the way up to people doing 7 figures. Human beings, outside of a few very confident people that don't seem to have the brain that the rest of us have, which holds us back, honestly, human beings are just afraid. They're afraid of charging more. I don't understand why, but there's a weird combination of imposter syndrome, which we talked about a little bit last episode. I don't feel qualified to charge that. I don't feel good enough to charge that. I'm not as experienced as so-and-so. So there's this comparison. There's this imposter syndrome piece. That's just all in your head, by the way. Then number 2, there's the market. Like, what will the market bear? So we look around like, well, he charges that, she charges that. It seems like this is a going rate. And we base our pricing for our offers off of what we see other people charging, which is really a bad way to do it because most people are undercharging. So if most people are undercharging and you're going to copy their price point or be, close to it, like I'll be a little bit less or a little bit more or whatever, it's the same range, then you're going to be copying an undercharged price, an undervalued price. Makes no sense. And then number 3, we do this because we're afraid that if we charge too much, it will repel people away. They won't buy. That is true, kind of, but the people that you don't want to buy from you won't buy. The people you really want to buy from you are already repelled from you because your prices are too low. Like, if there is a high-end buyer and they walk into a store and it's a quote-unquote nice jewelry watch store and there is a Rolex watch for sale for $100, are they going to buy it? No. Why not? They should. It's a great deal for a Rolex. It's only $100. It's a steal of a deal because they know it must not be legit. If it's that cheap, it can't be legit. So if you're that cheap, people think you're not legit because you're so cheap. So that's a bit of psychology as to why we undercharge, just so you know. Now, just so you know, there is a place for more lower ticket core product offers, entry point offers in your product stack. There is a place for that, but its job is to get people to a place where they can afford to work with you at a higher level or have gotten some proof that, man, she's amazing. Why am I not just going for her big thing? Does this make sense? So let's just unpack this real briefly. Pricing isn't just a math decision. It is a confidence decision and a positioning decision. So to charge more, you do have to have 2 things. You have to have clear, powerful positioning and confidence. Now, the confidence is sort of the personal growth, the psychology piece. And I can't just give you confidence, but I think confidence comes from 2 places. I think it will come from your positioning and messaging. And I think most people do a horrible job of selling. I did an episode, I think a couple episodes back on how to sell. But the key is to realize what you're selling. You're not selling an online course. You're not selling a mastermind. You're not selling a membership site. You're not selling one-on-one coaching. Those are vehicles for an outcome. You're selling the outcome. So if you're really clear on the transformative outcome, right? Like for example, my VIP day, $250,000 offer. I'm not selling one-on-one coaching or a mastermind because it includes both of those or all the other great things it comes with. That's not what I'm selling. That is a vehicle. What am I selling? An extra $1 million minimum per year in your business to 10xing your business. Depending on where you are, depending on how hard you work, depending on what levers you have, those are the outcomes I'm selling. So I have more confidence in that pricing because the positioning is, hey, let's engineer your next $1 million leap in your business in one day. So I'm going to collapse the time frame. We're not going to have to spend a year together. You're not going to have to watch gobs of videos. Just come to Tampa, spend 8 hours with me, and let's engineer your next $1 million leap or multi-million-dollar leap. It depends on how big your business is, right? So fast, powerful outcome. So that gives me more confidence because I know the positioning and the messaging of my offer is not, I'm not selling one-on-one coaching. Anyone could be a one-on-one coach. I'm selling the outcome that you will get if you do what I tell you to do. And so that gives me more confidence. So if you can get really clear on the outcome, you'll just look at your offer on the page and go, wow, that's really, really an awesome offer, right? That's an awesome offer. So we're going to get into that a little bit more on the make your offer irresistible. So I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, but just know when you have the right positioning, you're going to have a lot more confidence and then it's going to sell itself. But at the end of the day, the way I like to think about it is assume you're undercharging. Let's just raise your prices. If you just raised your prices by 25%, you already have increased your income by 25%. Because it's going to convert the same. 25% more is not going to make much difference, right? If you just 2x your prices, which I think is a much better way to go, then even if half the people say yes, you make the same amount of money, but I doubt your conversion rate will drop in half, right? It might drop 25% to like 75% of what it was, which means you're still going to get 50% more income. Double the price, 25% fewer purchasers, it's still 50% more. If your brain's like, I'm not ready to do that kind of math, just know, raise your prices, you'll raise your income. It's the most simple, fastest, basic place we start, but you really want to look at what you're selling and stop comparing it to what other people are selling in terms of price point and make your pricing decisions based off of the value you are bringing. Is this going to give them a return on their investment? Can they get 2x to 10x their money back on this investment in terms of actual money that they make, if it's a make more money offer, time you collapse for them, shortcut, speed, right? Or the cost of the alternative. If they don't buy this thing from you, what is it going to cost them? We talked about this with a divorce. If someone's getting a divorce and you're a relationship coach and your offer is $5,000 to help their marriage, and they're like, oh gosh, $5,000. Or if you're like, I can't charge $5,000. Well, what's the alternative? The cost of them not buying your offer is likely divorce, which I think the average I looked at is around $11,000 if they don't involve a bunch of lawyers, if they just get it done quickly, all the way up to half your net worth, which could be millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars. So like $5,000 is a steal because you're gonna save them at least $50,000 in legal fees and just the headache and like the trauma to your children. I don't know what that even will cost. Like this is almost infinite deal. So it doesn't have to be a money-making offer. If you're in the health space and you're helping people lose weight, you're giving them a return on their investment based off of what are they going to have to spend in medical bills when they have a heart attack or they get diabetes or cancer or just the sick days they miss at work because they're constantly sick, like the 10 years of trying stupid supplements and all these other bozo programs. Like you're saving them a ton of money and time with your offer. So you always want to think about that. Can I get them a 2x to 10x return on the investment off the offer? And then you realize when I can save them $50,000 of their life, then I can charge $5,000 easily for this offer. Just raise your prices. When you raise your prices, watch your business and your buyers rise to meet the value. You're going to attract better buyers. They're going to do what you say. They're going to get better results, and you're going to make more money with less effort, less hustling, less selling, and all with the same traffic. Let's move on to number 2. Second lever, and I started to hint at this, is make your offer irresistible. Okay, so you raise your prices, and then you make your offer irresistible. People don't buy because of logic, right? They don't buy because your offer is logical. That is part of it at the end. They start by buying because it's a compelling offer emotionally, right? Myron Golden says people only buy for one reason, because they feel like it. So you have to make people feel like it. You can't convince them. Math doesn't make them feel like it. They justify with logic, but they buy with emotion. So what you want to do is show them the outcome. Like I talked about my VIP day offer. What is the outcome they're going to get? You focus everything you possibly can in the presentation, the sales copy, the language, the hook. It's not about what they get. It's or the pieces or the process or even you, the person, like how great you are, why they should learn from you. It's really the payoff they get. So you want to emphasize the payoff, and then you want to tease that out. Show them how good life will be after they take advantage of your offer. Life is this way right now. Here's my offer. Buy the offer, take advantage of it, and then here's what life can look like for you afterwards. How you're going to feel, what outcome you're going to have. All of these beautiful payoffs that they're going to get, and the pains that are going to be removed. You spend your time focusing on that, the offer becomes irresistible. This is making sense? There's ways to add urgency, bonuses, social proof, and testimonials are powerful because they are the embodiment of the payoffs that people get. Because it's credibility in a way of like, hey, I've actually helped other people do this, yes. But instead of you just saying, here's the payoff you're going to have, like say, look, here's the payoff Susan got. She bought my $5,000 relationship offer. In her words, my marriage was on the rocks. We were staring down divorce, and I had 3 children, and I was just ashamed and scared and can't believe this is happening to me. And then now our marriage is better than it's ever been before. We're laughing, we're traveling, we're on date nights, our kids are healthier. Like when they see someone else, they see instantly the payoff. They see the pain going away. They see the transformation that they want. And they see that you've done it for somebody else. And then they put themselves in that case study or that testimonial, that story, because we learn from other people. We learn from story. We identify with story. So then now they're like, man, I really want to be like Susan. I want my marriage to end up like Susan's. So social proof and testimonials are so powerful. So you want to add those to that clear outcome-driven promise. I hinted at this in the previous one, but the question I try to ask myself is, would I drop money on this offer? If the tables were turned, would I drop money on this offer? If the answer is maybe, it's not good enough yet. And you can make the offer better or you can improve the messaging of the offer. But it's a measuring stick I like to use. Like I work with clients and sometimes I'm reviewing their sales pages and I know the offer is strong. I know what the transformation they're going to give people is strong. But then when I look at the presentation or the sales page or the emails, I'm like, bro, I wouldn't buy this. Would you buy this? And they're like, no. I'm like, well, then what are we doing here? You know, you're talking about all the stuff you're going to get and the page looks boring. Like it just seems like I'm going to a class. I don't want a class. I don't want a course. I don't want a program. I want the outcome and I want my life to be better. And I want to stop feeling this way. I want to feel this way. This is what we're selling. And I'm spending just a little bit of time here because most people suck at selling. Again, I just did an episode a couple of weeks ago. You'll never be able to sell until this. So go listen to that or watch that. But if you would just make your offer more irresistible, your conversion rate would skyrocket. You pair that with higher pricing, you double your prices, double your conversion rate because you improve your offer messaging. Well, now we're 8xing your income. So let's do the math. If you double your prices, so let's say you're selling a $500 course and you're selling 10 of them a month on your current traffic and your current system. That's $5,000 a month. You 2x your prices from $500 to $1,000. My bet is your conversion rate will be the same. Now you're selling the same number of traffic. You're getting $10,000 a month from just changing your prices. Now you recraft the offer to be even more resistible. I bet you could double your conversion rate with a way better crafted offer, messaging, and sales page. So now instead of selling 10, you're selling 20. And they weren't 20 at 500, they're 20 at 1,000. So now you're making $20,000 a month. You have 4 extra income. We've only made 2 moves. This is the power of dialing in these levers. Is this making sense? Again, you don't need more traffic. You just need a better reason for people to buy. Raise your prices, makes people more ready to buy, and then craft a more irresistible offer. You're going to increase conversions. Let's move on to dial number 3, which is creating a selling environment. So where and how you're selling makes a difference. And it's interesting because this is something that I never considered for years. It was always, what's the offer, the sales copy and messaging, get it in front of people. I intuitively understood that selling environment makes a difference because there's a difference between a cold buyer and a warm buyer. There's a difference between someone who just sees a sales page or just sees an ad to a sales page versus someone who's come through a funnel or a webinar or an event. And so what you want to think about is what is the environment people need to be in to buy your thing. It's not just the pricing. It's not just how irresistible the offer is where is the virtual room or metaphorical room that they're in that's getting them excited about buying. So think about if you've ever been to an event that you bought a ticket to, or even if it was free and people were speaking and you're like, man, this is amazing. You're at a conference. This person's amazing, and their keynote's blowing you away. And then at the end of the keynote, they offer that they have a program or that you can work with them one-on-one. You're like, oh my gosh, how do I sign up to work with this person? They had an offer. They could have just sent everybody a sales page, but it was way higher to convert, more likely to convert. That's why in-person keynotes is the highest converting place. Like if you can speak from stage in person, you'll sell the most of whatever it is. Why? Because they've just spent 60 minutes locked in on you with nothing else to click on. There's no ads to click on. There's no suggested videos on YouTube. They're locked in on you for 60 minutes in the room, experiencing your energy, your tone of voice. You've taught them powerfully. You've basically educated them and served them powerfully for 60 minutes. So by the time you make an offer at the end, bro, they're warmed up. They have been in an environment that is a selling environment, and they're ready to buy from you. So the best place to sell is in person. One way I've done this is, let's say like last year, I was thinking about this because one of my clients reminded me. A year ago, I hosted an in-person mastermind at one of my properties here in Tampa. And I had 5 guys. It was $7,500 to buy a ticket to come spend 2 nights, 2 days with me, take a weekend with me in Tampa at our beautiful luxury Airbnb that we have. We brought in a private chef, took them out to my favorite speakeasy and restaurants in town, and we just workshopped and mastermind their businesses. So these were all multi-6-figure business owners and one 7-figure business owner. So they paid $7,500 to get there, which was a steal in my mind. But some of them were like, I'm not really sure. And they came. And so they've all been there. They've all paid. They all got transformation. They all got clarity in what to do to scale their business after that. But then at the end of that event, what I did was I offered them an offer, a $54,000 offer. They've already spent $7,500 with me. I offered them a $54,000 offer. 2 of them said yes. Okay, so I sold 5 tickets at $7,500. And then when I got them in the room on the final session, I said, before we do the final session, I want to make an offer to you. So we can, if you're loving this, let's continue doing some work together. And so I made a $54,000 offer, and 2 people said yes. So I turned what was a, whatever the math is, $35,000, $40,000 weekend into an extra $100,000 plus. Why did that convert so well? There was no sales page. There was no long presentation. It was literally 60 seconds. It took me 60 seconds. 2 people said yes. Why? The environment. They had just spent 2 days with me in person, eating good food, having good drink, having bonfires, like the fire pit on the 3rd-story rooftop, masterminding their business, getting light bulbs, getting transformation, realizing, man, the more time I spend with Graham, the better my thinking is, the better ideas I get, the more clarity I get in my business. I was thinking as like a $300,000 entrepreneur. Now I'm thinking like a $3 million entrepreneur. Like, I don't want the learning to stop. I need to say yes. So it was easy to sell $100,000 worth of coaching because of the environment. So what selling environments are you creating for your audience? So don't just try to run ads. Don't just try to like put links on your website. Think about the environment. So one selling environment you can have is an email nurture sequence. Somebody joins your email list. They're getting some emails from you. It's not the best environment, but it's better than nothing. Those first 5 days somebody joins your email list are a magical golden window that you have to convert because they found you recently, presumably, they just opted in. They're interested in the problem that you solve because they opted into your list. So it must be a problem that's plaguing them right now. So the timing is right. They've self-selected. And now you have an opportunity through like what I like to teach as a 5-day sequence to educate and basically take what would be a keynote and turn it sideways into 5 days of emails. Educate on day 1, educate on day 2, educate/transition to an offer on day 3, and then solidify that offer on day 4 and day 5 with case studies, testimonials, and outcome-driven language. That simple 5-day nurture sequence is a selling environment. At its basic, that everybody should at least have something like that. A live virtual event, like a webinar, is a great selling environment, right? I just did a live event just a few weeks ago, and I was teaching people. I did 90 minutes of my time. 60 minutes was a presentation and an offer in there, and then 30 minutes of live Q&A. So 90 minutes of my time, and we did tens of thousands of dollars. Now, if I just sent everyone a link to this offer, they may not have bought it. But because I educated them, I sort of addressed fears, I addressed old beliefs they had, and it sort of obliterated those beliefs and replaced them with new beliefs. And I gave them a bit of the outcome and showed them exactly what to do. By the time I made an offer for the program that I was selling them, the offer, a good percentage of them were like, dude, I need more of this. So I had created in a 90-minute window, virtually for free, a selling environment. The next best selling environment would be a paid selling environment. This could be a paid masterclass. So like think of a longer webinar that they paid a small ticket to like $7 to $47. This could be a paid live challenge, like a 5-day challenge where they paid $47 or $97 ticket to come spend 5 days with you, like an hour each day. It could be a paid actual event. Like you could host a 1-day or 2-day event in your town, like rent out a ballroom at a hotel and charge tickets to come. And that way the event itself is an offer. So you give a deliverable, but it's low cost enough that like, dude, I'm going to get so much value out of this. And then once you get them in this room, whether it's a paid virtual room or a paid live room, you have something bigger to sell them at the end. And that's not a bait and switch. That's just the natural flow of, hey, let's gather some people. And I want, because people who pay attention. So the people that you get in the room are going to be 7 times more likely to buy from you because your current customers are 7 times easier to convert than non-customers. So people are paying, so you're going to get quality people in the room, and then you're going to blow their minds, which is a selling environment because you're educating, you're serving, you're creating transformation. They don't want the learning to stop, and they realize they need you way more than you need them. And so by the end, when you make an offer, it's going to resonate with some and not for others, or it's going to resonate with everybody, but not everybody has the money to do it, or it's not the right time for them. And there's no problem. There's no hard selling. It's just like, hey, here's the next best thing. And then you're going to sell a ton of those things. So think about what selling environments can you create or have you created, and can you get more of your people into a selling environment, more live webinars, more paid events, better nurture sequences. And if you can have automated systems, so automated webinars work great. Whatever you got to do to get people in an environment, we're not just running right to the offer. Serve somebody first. Okay. I even spoke at a John Maxwell event. I had 30 minutes to do a breakout session, and I was asked to give 10 minutes of teaching and then 20 minutes of Q&A. So imagine as a 10-minute presentation. I gave 10 minutes to a bunch of CEOs and leaders and then answered their questions. At the end of the 10 minutes, before I even opened the floor to questions, one of the guys who runs a major medical company was like, bro, can I hire you to coach me? I didn't even make an offer. And he was one of 3 people that came up to me that I know of. I'm sure there's more. They're like, can I hire you to coach me? That was a 10-minute selling environment. And I didn't even make an offer. They just realized they need me way more than I need them. And they were begging me to do business with me. So you got to shift from just educating, though, because here's the other problem. Let's just pause here for a second. You might be thinking, yeah, I'm doing that, Graham. I've got webinars. I've got email sequences. Okay. You might already have these environments, but if they're only education but not sales environments, you're missing out. So I've made this mistake for years where I overteach and I overeducate. One of my first webinars, I went on for two and a half hours, and I was teaching 10 hacks to recording better sounding music at home. It went on way too long. I realized if I could shorten it from 10 hacks to 3, shorten it from a 2.5-hour webinar to a 1-hour webinar, my conversions went up because I also stopped teaching the whole time, but also made sure that I was selling. Because a big part of what you want to do in these environments is not just educate, but like I mentioned, illuminate what beliefs they currently have about the problem, show them how those beliefs aren't serving them anymore, remove those beliefs, almost like a demolition of a house. So then you can, for the renovation, then you can put in the new beliefs, install the new cabinets and the new countertops. And they realize, oh my gosh, I now believe the things Graham believes. Now I can buy the thing he's selling. So this is a big shift in your presentations. Make sure there is education. Make sure it's good education, but don't overteach where you overwhelm them with information. Take them on a journey from, I used to believe this, but now I realize this is the shift I need to make in my belief structure, and these are the lies that are holding me back from making the decision that I need to make, which is going to involve buying your offer, but it's also the decision they need to make to be able to take action on what's inside your offer to get results. And so you want to make sure your live events, your webinars, your nurture sequences aren't just teaching, they are selling, and they're selling the dream and selling the outcome. So create a better selling environment. That was number 3. Number 4, we're going to wrap this up here quick. This one's so simple. Make offers to existing customers, right? So in that selling environment, that's how I was able to sell. It was an easy $100,000 at that paid mastermind weekend because I wasn't selling it to random people. I wasn't selling it to my email list. I was selling it to people that had just paid me $7,500. So look at instead of looking at your whole list or looking at more traffic, look at your customer list. Right now, log into Kajabi or your CRM or your whatever tool you use to track your customers and look at everyone. First of all, look at how many customers do you have? Do you have 100 people that have paid you? And this have paid you anything. Do you have 100 people that have paid you something? Do you have 1,000 people? 10,000 people? Look at how many people that have paid you something. That's your money list right there. Now make more offers to those people. So the people that have bought your lower price thing, make them an offer to your next price thing. The people that have bought that next price thing, make them an offer for your higher price thing. The people that have bought the people that have spent the most with you, make them an ultra elite offer that you've never made before. It's so simple, but the warmest audience are your current existing customers. The studies have shown us that a current customer is 7 times easier to convert than a non-customer. So it's going to be so much easier for you to make more money if you just offered your existing customer base. You can do this with just a straight up email sequence or a webinar or whatever, straight to the people. You can do this in micro ways like upsells, cross sells, or upgrades. These are easy, low-hanging fruit things you can add to your orders and your order bumps, things like that in your checkout process. But the question you need to ask yourself is, what's the next step I can invite them into? What's the next step they need to take? Like for my clients, if I've helped them like with a beginner offer, like my commission cash flow system, right? This helps people go from 0 to the first $5,000 a month selling other people's stuff. You don't need a product. You don't need a website. You don't need anything, right? You don't need tech. You don't need to run paid ads. If I've sold this program to people and they've started to make $5,000 a month, that's great. Well, the next step they need is to be able to launch their own offers and build their own more well-oiled machine of a system. And they probably want to get to the next level. So I'm going to make them an offer to help them get to $20,000 a month consistently, right? They're going to want to buy that offer. And then my people that are already making $20,000 a month consistently, they're going to want to join my inner circle where I'm going to help them make $1 million a year, right? Or I help them make $100,000 months, working 20 hours a week or less, right? That's the next step for them. And then people that are already making at least $50,000 a month or more, those people I can invite to do a VIP day with me because I can help them add millions per year to their business. Because they're already in the right spot to be able to do that. And they already have the right beliefs to be able to believe that's possible for them. So ask yourself, what's the next step I can invite these customers into? Everyone's on a journey in your programs. All your clients are on a journey. Offer them something else. Don't ignore the gold that's in your own backyard. Your customer list is a list of gold. It is a gold mine, friend, that is largely untapped. People assume, well, I already sold them a thing. I got to go find more customers. No, you don't. Create better, new, higher ticket offers to your existing customers and move them up the value ladder and move them deeper into your circle of awesomeness so they get better results. They get more time with you or your brand. They've got more money to spend if you could offer them something better. So make offers to existing customers. And number 5, create continuity income or recurring income. This is similar to making more offers, but if you don't already have some kind of recurring revenue in your business, you need it ASAP. And there's a lot of ways to do this because a one-time sale is great, but monthly revenue is better. If you can make a one-time sale that becomes an every month sale or an every year sale, even better, because now you've done the work once and you've got more recurring money and income coming later. So think about memberships and membership sites, subscriptions, or retainers. If you're in the coaching space, let's say you do a one-off coaching package, a 6-month coaching package, or a year-long coaching package, and you're coming to the end of your coaching package. Don't let it end. Offer them a retainer support. Like, hey, our time together is coming to an end. I find that most of my clients, while we've had a lot of breakthrough and transformation, a lot of them don't want the support to go away. So maybe we do another round. You could offer them another round, number one. And if that's not a good fit for them, say, hey, okay, if another round is not a good fit, I offer my clients a support retainer, which is a lower monthly fee that you can do, month to month, cancel anytime, and it's this amount per month recurring, and you have access to me on my Slack or access to my WhatsApp number or Voxer or whatever, where if they have ongoing questions, they can reach out to you. That kind of support is powerful, and it's just a simple recurring retainer. It's an offer you attach to someone who's already paid you a lot of money. Same thing with membership sites or communities. Paid communities are huge already, and they're going to be huge moving forward. I did this a whole couple of months ago about how to future-proof your business. You need a paid community. And so whether that is a month-to-month membership or a year-long sort of mastermind, you need people paying you regularly on recurring revenue systems to be in a community with you and your other best customers. That's where they're going to get the most transformation and the best proximity to you. And again, the thing with this is it's not about quantity. It's not even about price point. It's about consistency. So if you can get more people in any kind of recurring revenue model, you start to see that stack. So don't be discouraged if you launch a membership or a mastermind and there's only a handful of people in there. As you get more people in there with your current traffic model, it's going to stack, and you're going to see that predictable revenue coming in. You're going to see that stability coming to your business. And the more time people spend with you, the better the results they're going to get. So even with membership sites, I'm a big fan of just putting people on an annual plan. Whether you don't even have a monthly plan or you just focus on the annual plan, like get people to commit to more months with you, not fewer, because the more months they have committed to you, the more likely they are to do what's inside the program or the community or the mastermind or the membership, the more likely they are to stick. Is this making sense? So have some kind of recurring revenue. I've had multiple membership sites. I've got a recurring subscription product with Graham AI, which is a virtual coach. And I've got my masterminds and programs that are on a recurring basis. You pay every year to be in that program and community. So here are the 5 levers. Raise your prices, make your offer more irresistible, create a selling environment, make offers to existing customers, and create continuity or recurring revenue. Which one of those do you need to implement today? Like, don't even think about it. Like, do it today. And I'm going to give you a hint. For 99% of you, it's probably raise your prices. You should just go do it today. You should go pick an offer and raise your prices. Remember, you don't need more traffic. You need to steward the traffic that you already have better, because most of us aren't. Even if you have 100 people coming into your world every month, if you haven't dialed in these 5 levers, you are grossly missing out on a bunch of revenue and the ability to serve them at a higher level. So pick one of those 5 levers, implement something today, this week, as fast as you can on those 5 levers. Ideally, dial in all 5. Watch your business grow with the same amount of traffic. And then as your traffic grows, watch everything just explode exponentially. This is the path to growth. Don't focus on linear traffic. Focus on quantum, exponential, multiplicative growth by dialing in these 5 levers. If you could double sales and conversions on all 5 of those, you get an insane return on your, an insane multiple on your effort, which is just the way to think about scalable growth. If this has helped you, let me know in a comment below on YouTube, or if you're listening to the Apple Podcast or Spotify version of this episode, you know what to do. Shoot me a message on Instagram at @TheGrahamCochran. I love having conversations there. I would like to know what's helping you, what's resonating with you as I serve you in growing your business and loving your life. Have a great one. We'll see you on another episode real soon.